The Mediterranean diet has been touted now for many things. If you want longevity, they say eat the Mediterranean diet. If you want to prevent Alzheimer's, eat the Mediterranean diet. And when you ask the nutritionalists what is very good about the Mediterranean diet, they wave their arms around and they say, oh, it's got protein, carbohydrates, and fats in it. I'm thinking, well, yeah, well, diet's got that in it. Why, it's Mediterranean. But one of the things that it does do is it has a good cover. And because it's on the Mediterranean, a big part of the diet is seafood. And not only is it seafood, it's seafood that's been derived from the Mediterranean Sea. And for those of you who are in touch with your geography, the Nile brings all the nutrients from Africa into the Mediterranean Sea. So you're getting a lot of selenium and molybdenum and iodine in there. So seafood, of course, is a big source of iodine and selenium. So you can see that if you have a diet that consists of a lot of this, these two deficiencies go out. The seafood they tend to eat is high in iron, and high in iron foods are generally high in vitamin B12. So you've got, you're covering 2 or 3 of these things already. And being in the Mediterranean quite often is you get lots of sunlight. So you cover the vitamin D. So what's good for autism is good for dementia, is good for general health, because you're covering these minor nutrients that people don't talk about. And so of these, iodine and selenium are huge. My wife's a nutritionist, so we have discussions about diets. And the thing is that people say, oh, get on the paleo diet, get on the paleo diet. And they make these assumptions on the people there, whether they're healthy or not. Got to remember that in those days, the people were very active. So they're healthier anyway because they're moving around. And the life expectancy wasn't great. It's about 32. So the paleo diet wasn't doing them a lot of good as far as life expectancy goes. So did you want to put your child on that and he's going to die at 32, or do you want to...
Yeah, on the topic of diet was around wheat germ, glucotinine.
One of the things I did 20 years ago was I worked on lectins and agglutinins. And I worked on specifically to do what these papers suggest. And that is that your gut wall is covered with all these sugar moieties. They're called glycolipids and glycoproteins, glyco being the sugar bit. And these wheat germ agglutinin, peanut agglutinin, a lot of these things that give you allergies if you haven't mounted a good response, can bind very well to the gut wall. When they bind to the gut wall, they can then internalize, and you can actually couple things to them. And I've been able to drag nanoparticles in with them. So, and I can see them go through the gut wall, and sure, they will take them in. The thing is that what your body is supposed to do to all the dietary things you have is mount antibody response to them. It mounts antibodies responses to them to neutralize them so they don't do you damage. And so, yeah, if you feed rats or mice wheat germ agglutinin, they mount a fantastic antibody response to them. If you put them in tissue culture, which is one of the things that they use for, they make cells divide because they can cross-link receptors on the surface of the cells, and that can be a stimulus to make them divide. So they certainly can do that. But the thing is that we've all been eating peanuts and everything for years and years, and wheat germ for years and years and years. And most of us are fine as far as I know. So what we've got, there are probably more foods in a vegan diet that has them, which tends to be heavier on nuts, such as the peanut agglutinin, wheat germ agglutinin. Peas even have an agglutinin. Lentils have them. Soybeans have them. You're taking a lot out of your diet if you don't want to eat them. But we know what causes autism. It's not eating beans.